Good afternoon, everyone. We just wait for 5 minutes, then we'll start the session. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you. Myself, Bhanu Goyal, representing Ulyana Education. It's my privilege to welcome you to today's online workshop on designing and implementing value-added and skill enhancement courses. Thank you for taking out your valuable time to be a part of this learning space. In today's academic environment, institutions are expected to go beyond conventional curriculum delivery and create meaningful learning pathways that directly strengthen employability, skills, and student readiness. Value-added and skill enhancement courses play a crucial role in bridging that gap when they are designed well and implemented with proper structure, evidence, and documentation. Today's session will help us understand how to identify and plan need-based skill courses for students, how to structure the course with clear content, delivery plan, and learning evidence, how to implement it smoothly at institutional level with approvals, records, and reporting, and how to represent it in an accreditation-ready manner for accuracy and quality frameworks. It's an honor for us to have with us speaker for the session, Dr. 𝗍𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗧, Director of Ulyana Education, and a senior leader associated with Association of Indian Principals. Dr. Goyal brings rich experience in academic leadership, curriculum planning, and quality assurance, and we are confident that today's session will be highly practical and actionable for all of us. Before we begin, a few quick guidelines. Please keep your mic on mute during the session. You may write your questions in the chat box and we'll take them during the Q&A session. Kindly ensure you have joined your registered email ID, especially if you have opted for certification. Once again, welcome everyone. Let's make this session interactive, practical, and impactful. Now I request Dr. 𝗍𝗂𝗲𝗄𝗧 sir to kindly take over the session. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Welcome to all participants from Ulyana, on behalf of Ulyana Education. Today's topic of the workshop, designing and implementing value-added and skill enhancement courses. See how we are going to discuss what are value-added and skill enhancement courses and how do we design them. And apart from designing, how they are implemented. In implementation part, we will be discussing about how the teacher can introduce innovations in his pedagogy to enhance the learning outcomes of the students. So the today's session will have, in fact, today we will have two sessions. One session will be on the topic that we are discussing right now. And the next session will be devoted to a practical exercise that we shall be doing, in which we will expect you to perform that particular exercise. And for that purpose, we would like you to have your laptops with you, where you have access to Microsoft Word, where you can do your exercise, enter whatever you wish to as a response to every question that is put up in the exercise. Those who are joining using their mobiles, they will have to have a paper and a pen and then complete the exercise on paper, take a photograph and send it over to me. After the exercise, again, we shall be sending another exercise to do at home. So the first one will be monitored and guided exercise. I'll be guiding you all throughout how we are going to perform, what we are expected to write, how we are to think about it, what could be the answer to the question, and how we are to go ahead. And but the exercise which is delivered to you after the workshop is over, that will be a home assignment where you'll be designing the value-added course and then submitting that exercise on email. So let's start off with the workshop day. The topic: designing and implementing value-added and skill enhancement courses. Next slide. See, curriculum design workshop series. This is what we are actually implementing. And in this, there were 14 workshops divided in 4 groups, A, B, C, and D. A group, there were 4 workshops. We have completed that. In B group, there are 3 workshops. Today is the first one. Group C has 2 workshops, and Group D, which is the most important of all, has 5 workshops and covers everything right from vision, mission, program outcomes, course outcomes, up to how they are designed and implemented. Next slide. So here we talk of learning objectives of Group B, C, and D, which we have just mentioned. Next slide. Today's workshop, its main objective is to guide faculty in planning and delivering a short-term focused course that builds employability and technical skills. So the basic objective of the value-added course and skill enhancement course is to build employability and technical skills. So learning outcomes of today's workshop will be identifying emerging skill areas. How do we identify them? How do we design a short duration or a focused VAC course, and then collaborate with external agencies to deliver and for certification. Next slide. Before we actually learn how to design, let's see what are value-added courses. Now, how value-added courses help students get jobs? Most of the times when we offer these courses to the students, the question from the student is how many of us, the main question is, will this help me get a job? See, every student, because this is something which is not going to come in the this is extra course apart from what is taught in the regular curriculum. So the student, before he takes up the the burden of taking up that course, attending it, and then assimilating whatever is taught, he asks, why should I join? Will it help me get a job? So that's a very, very big question. But let me tell you, these VAC courses, basically, they alone do not guarantee a job. Of course, they help, but they do not guarantee a job. But well-designed value-added course significantly improves the employability of the student. So naturally, this is students should be encouraged to adopt these value-added courses because they are actually employability enablers. Their role is to bridge the gap between what they are learning in the class and what is expected in the industry. So there is a gap between the two, and that is filled by value-added courses. Now, how these value-added courses help the students get the job? They build job-relevant skills. They provide hands-on exposure, building their skill. Offer industry-recognized competencies. That means the capacity, the competency of the student, what is required by the industry, that is what you are trying to build. And strengthen their resume. If it is not building an exercise directly, it strengthens their resumes and interview and their ability to get a job, basically. So aligns Another thing is it aligns with local, regional, and emerging job roles. Whatever job roles are actually coming up, they are very much prevalent in the market. So these are they get aligned by what you offer to teach apart from the curriculum through value-added courses. So what they cannot do, but of course, some things which they cannot do, they cannot replace the degrees. They can't replace core degrees. They can't guarantee placement without student effort. Student has to make an effort to get a job. They can't compensate for lack of fundamentals or attitude. If the student doesn't have an attitude for work or attitude to excel, these VACs alone will not help them. So VACs are most effective when they are integrated with internships or apprenticeships. Why? Because in internships, basically, the student gets an opportunity to do the things with his own hands. And linked to industry projects or field work, again, the same thing. Industry projects are on what industry actually desires from the student. And when he does those things, it is but natural, it becomes more suitable for the industry to employ him. Supported by career guidance and placement cells, and aligned with sectoral skill councils. There are 30, 30, 33, 34 sectoral skill councils, and these councils basically are made to satisfy the industry needs. Assessed through complementary based evaluation, competency based evaluation. So this is what is why when the VACs are most effective. Next slide, please. What are value-added courses? Now, when we question what are value-added courses, they are basically of short-term. They can be focused, short-term but focused. They can be outcome-oriented, and they can be complementary to core curriculum. So how do we think like that? Short-term means they are not very lengthy. They are 15 to 30 hours of total curriculum teaching lectures. Short-term but focused. They are very much focused on a particular skill. For example, advanced MS Excel for data handling and reporting. So here the course is going to be focused on advanced features of MS Excel, which can help the student in data handling and reporting. Third is outcome oriented. In outcome oriented, for example, we have resume writing and interview skills for employability. It's but natural when the student knows how to write the resume and how to give his interviews, his employability chances of getting employment, they increase. And naturally, his outcome is also going to increase. So complementary to core curriculum, whatever we are teaching in the core curriculum, that is what is the, for example, BTech electronics, it's focused on electronics basically. So we cannot teach everything that comes under electronics to the student in the 4 years. So here, the VAC value-added courses, they add to the whatever is there in the core curriculum. Here, example is from management or accounting, like business analytics using MS Excel. So that means this particular course, if you have taken it up as a value-added course, it adds to the ability of the student where he is able to do business analytics, business data using MS Excel. Next slide. Now, type of skill courses. They basically like we earlier also we talked about types, but this type, what I'm saying is different. They can be taken up as an add-on course. Add-on course means they support a skill to a particular subject. They add skill to a particular subject. For example, we teach analog electronics. So if we teach them some particular tool which is utilized in developing analog circuits. So you having that skill is going to be supporting the course of analog electronics. Another thing is like it may be a certificate course. Certificate course means we are trying to give an independent skill to the student. For example, a course in digital marketing. Or it could be skill enhancement, where we enhance his skill. When we wanting to enhance his skill, the focus is on his employment. Then it could be even multidisciplinary. Multidisciplinary means that it involves more than one discipline. So that means it is a cross-domain subject or a skill. For example, AI for healthcare. So AI actually, we take it as a part of computer science. Healthcare is basically naturally from the medical stream. So this both can join together and we can have AI skills to be introduced for healthcare. So both are this is what is called multidisciplinary type of value-added courses. Next slide, please. The value-added courses could also be credit courses or non-credit courses, depending upon whether we are allowing them to carry on credits with in the curriculum of the student that the student is actually going through. Now we talk of identifying emerging skill areas. See, why we talk of identifying emerging skill areas? The reason is you must have noticed that value-added courses, whatever type, it basically adds some kind of a skill to the student or enhances the skill of the student. So how do we identify emerging skill areas? Because it is the emerging skill areas only which we would like the student to develop so that his chances of employability are enhanced. So first is industry trends. We need to study industry trends. Based on that, we get to know what are the emerging skill areas, or we can talk about government and national missions like Digital India mission is there, Skill India or Green Skills mission is there, or any other, lots of Atmanirbhar Bharat, that again a national mission is there of the government. So we can go through them and find out what skills are required to achieve those missions. The local and regional needs. It is but natural the student when he's studying in an institution, it's more likely that he belongs to that local region or that particular region itself. So whatever the needs of that region are, his chances of getting employed in that region becomes much more when he is able to have a skill that is suitable for the regional needs. For example, tourism or agriculture technology, etc. Student aspirations. Now, student may have some aspirations beyond what is there in the industry or what is there in his neighborhood. Like, for example, he wants to go for IAS or he wants to join the national services like the UPSC, through UPSC, like railways. So he has to go through competitive exams. Or let's say he wants to be an entrepreneur and he wants to have his own startup. So those aspirations could also be met through value-added courses. Last, we talk of global competencies, which goes beyond everything like sustainability. We talk of ethics, we talk of communication. All these areas, they come under global competencies. Next slide. Now we are going to talk about, like we said, that we must identify skills from industry trends. But how do we identify skills from industry trends? There are lots of options by which we can actually go through and identify the skills from industry trends. Now, first is analyze industry demand signals. Now, what are the industry demand signals? For example, you have job portals. In job portals and role descriptions, you get to know what all jobs the industry is most demanding. For how many jobs, let's say, are there for a particular job role. So that gives you an indication of that this industry is going in which direction. Industry reports and white papers. Now, most of the industries, they come out with industry reports and white papers regularly, or maybe annual basis or 6 monthly. So that way, those papers or reports could also be studied, and we get to know what the industry is planning to go ahead. And sector skill council frameworks, they also define what the industry, they also frameworks go through what industry is actually desiring to have in the near future. Government initiatives and national missions, we talked about it when we were discussing through last slide. So all government missions also decide in which direction the industry should move. So outcomes of in demand and in competencies, that is what is the outcome of such particular analysis of industry demand signals. Next is consult industry stakeholders. Now, we can talk to the industry experts, we can talk to the employers who are employing our students regularly. If there is no low placement, then we know what kind of industries are going to employ our students who are going to pass out from our institutions. Or we can talk to alumni working in relevant sectors, or we can have the students go through internships and placement partners, like we have joint campuses and other institutions. From there also we could talk about and find out about what are the industry trends. Our professional bodies and chambers, like we have Punjab Chambers of Commerce and Industry. So we can talk to these them and find out what basically are the trends in which the industry is moving. Third point is track emerging technologies and practices. We can track, for example, we can monitor digital transformations, automation trends. We can talk about AI, data analytics, sustainability, compliance, or ESG. ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. So we can talk about these or changes in business models or customer behavior. So likewise, we can identify future ready, what is going to come in future, because naturally the industry trends, it's going to identify, it's going to indicate what is going to come in the future. So next topic was map industry needs with academic gaps. Now we can compare the existing curriculum outcomes with what is there in the industry, what the industry is desiring, or graduate employability feedback. Or we can talk about employer expectations. So clear identifications of skill gaps can be addressed through these value-added courses or through internships or projects or certifications. Then we can prioritize skills based on relevance and feasibility. So we can select these skills that are industry relevant, which are learnable within a short duration, because VACs are a short course, very lengthy, or applicable across roles, or measurable through outcomes. So final list of job aligned outcome oriented skill areas can always be made. Or translate skills into academic offerings. So we can convert the identified skills into what we call value-added courses, skill modules, or micro-credentials, or industrial projects, internships, or workshops, or its certifications, programs which are offered by different industries. Next slide, please. Now, what are the high demand skill clusters? High demand skill clusters, we go through digital and technology skills. Now, what are digital and technology skills? For example, we talked about AI or data visualization. So these skills, they enable learners to work with digital platforms or analyze data and use AI-assisted tools for decision making. So proficiency in dashboards or analytics, AI applications, they will improve the efficiency and capacity or competitiveness across the industries. Next part was professional skills. Professional skills like which align us higher in the profession, which give us edge over other professions, like communications. If we can communicate better, we are going to naturally be better in competing with our own peers, or leadership qualities. So professional skills, they support effective workplace interaction, teamwork, and people management. So we become better with with compared to the rest of the people whom we are competing. Green and sustainability skills like ESG, we talked about, environment compliance, the entrepreneurship, business planning or innovation. Like entrepreneurship skills, they develop our ability to identify what opportunities are coming, design viable business models, or manage through innovations. So this is what is entrepreneurship. Life and workplace skills, emotional intelligence or ethical ethics or social ethics. Now, life and workplace skills, they foster self-awareness, ethical conduct, adaptability, or in social emotional learning, we have an important topic, resilience. So these things basically, they enhance our ability to perform. So that is what we say high demand skill clusters. Next slide, please. Now, before we go through this slide, I would like to ask what skill, I would like to ask all the participants and answer in the chat box if you can. That's what skill gap do your students repeatedly struggle with? Now, I would like you to mention one gap which your students basically struggle with. Do they struggle with the communication, which I think is very, very common, or they struggle with AI skills because AI skills are relatively new. So most of the students or even faculty, they have not mastered the AI skills, and which now becoming more very being employed basically in the industry, and people having AI skills are preferred for employment much ahead of others whenever the industry goes through campus recruitment or hiring otherwise. Anyway, let's go to the main topic now, designing value-added courses. Now, there are 5 major steps for designing value-added courses. First step is define purpose. Now, whenever we design a course, we must identify why we need this course. So why this course? That's the first question we have to ask ourselves. And when we say this is the course that is required, we must be able to justify our decision by saying what problem does this course, what problem will it solve? Because definitely we cannot teach something which does not solve any problem, which is not going to be useful. So you have to identify, we have to prove to ourselves that what is the purpose of the VAC that we are trying to design? Why we are designing it? What will the student gain by going through this particular value-added course? So that is the first step that we need to take up. Second is, we have to write the course objectives. The course objective means what are the objectives of the course? There may be more than one, but those objectives must be very clearly defined. And those objectives must be what I will say action oriented. And third thing which I would say is they should be learner focused. So, for an example, I can say I'm designing the course to equip the students with hands-on skills in data analysis using industry tools. So it's very clear that I'm giving them hands-on skills. And in which topic? I'm giving them in data analysis. So they will become much better in analyzing the data. But through which tools? Because for skill we'll have to use some tools. So which tools? So I will say using industry tools. I can even specify the industry tools that will be used in or that will be taught in this particular value-added course that I'm designing, for which I'm writing this particular objective. So this was the second step. Let's go to the next step. That's frame learning outcomes. Now you see, whenever, like I said, why I'm designing the course. Objectives basically are related to teacher. But when I talk about outcomes, they are talking of student. What basically the student will be able to do after having gone through that particular course. What will be the outcome? That has to be very clearly defined. And when we define the outcomes, we don't have to write a sentence which is very descriptive kind of thing. No. We have to write the outcome in a manner which is measurable. The outcome must be measurable. I must be able to assess how much outcome the student has actually attained. So I must be able to find out the attainment of outcome after the student has gone through the course. So I have to use what is called Bloom's taxonomy in order to see what kind of outcomes they should be depending on the level. If it's a level 3 course, then outcomes will be corresponding to level 3. If it is a level 4 course, then the outcome will be corresponding to level 4. All right. Now graduation is level 7, so I'll have to go with the simple graduation is level 7, or if we have a professional graduation like B.Tech or B.Pharma, that's level 8. So I have to define my outcomes corresponding to the particular level for which that course is designed, for which that particular program is designed. So if I'm designing the course for a B.Tech program, it's but natural I must know what level, at what level, if it is a first year or second year or a third year or a final year, the levels will change with the year. First year level will be different, second year level will be different, and likewise third year will be different, and final year will be a different. So I have to actually go through the Bloom's taxonomy and find out, and then my outcome based OBE focused value added course, I must use the verbs like analyze, design, apply, demonstrate, understand, based on the level for which I'm designing that course. Because these verbs depend upon Bloom's taxonomy, different levels. So I will design the learning outcomes. After designing the learning outcomes, now I have to design the structure of the course. Structure means I have to see what will be the LTP, how many lectures per week, how many tutorials per week, will it have a practical component? Now, if let's say I'm going for a semester system, I know UGC says at least 15 weeks of teaching must be there. That means if it is 4 lectures per week, so 15 into 4 makes it 60. It means 60 lectures course. If I have 3 lectures per week, then 15 into 3 makes 45. If it is 2 lectures per week, then it is 15 into 2 makes it 30 lectures. But mind it, let me tell you very frankly, this simple calculation of mathematics, number of weeks multiplied by the number of lectures per week, doesn't specify the number of hours or number of lessons that should be there in which the course can be covered. Because sometimes the student asks so many questions, the level of students is less or more, they're more inquisitive, the teacher is not able to cover the kind of syllabus that he is required to do it in one lesson. He has to do a what you call it a recap of the whole thing after whatever he has taught in the first 1 month. Then he has to spend 2 lectures on recapping it. All right. So that way we must, or let's say there are some holidays declared by the institution or some other. So there has to be some gap. If it is 15 into 4 lectures per week, 60 total hours. So we should design a course which can be covered within 45 to 50 hours. Less. So 45 to 50 lectures course can be designed for a 60-hour of total semester. If it is 15 into 3, 45 hours, then I must go for, let's say, 32 to 38 hours, or let's say around 35 hours. Of course, a course which can be normally covered in around 35 lectures should be taught for a 300 structure. So I have to define the structure, a number of hours. Then I also have to define the modules. Like my course content is going to be divided in, let's say, in 4 modules or 4 units. Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4. Then I must also be able to say that Unit 1 will be covered in so many hours, Unit 2 to be covered in so many hours, 3 to be covered in so many hours, and so on and so forth. All right. Similarly, if it has a practical component, I also have to identify how many practicals. If it's a 15-week, I can go for a minimum 10 practicals to maximum 10 to 14 practicals throughout the semester. So I can go for minimum 10. So 10 practicals could be done in 15 sessions, or we can have 2, 3 more practicals to be covered if the remaining sessions are available. So structure of the course to be designed, the format of that is the next step. No? Fifth step is content design. Now, after having designed my objectives, my learning outcomes, after having designed the structure of the course, now I am going to design the content. Content will naturally depend upon what gaps I am to cover up, what skill I am to give, what level I am teaching, and definitely if it is going to support a particular course, then I must not have some repetitions. I must not avoid what is called system overload. Then I must focus on what students can do. I should not include things which students actually cannot perform or cannot actually do it. If a student is not able to understand and I am including that part, it's beyond his reach, then basically it's my mistake, not the student's mistake. No, I am designing a course which is not right. So to design the right amount of content, I must see what are the gaps that I'm going to fill, what skill I want to give him, what outcome I want, and it should be measurable. And then naturally you have to talk about how many hours it can be taken up for, and then whether I'm really, whatever I'm writing, what I'm adding to the content, content I'm making, that content, it can be done by the student or not. So after having designed the content, then I would say, yes, I've designed the course. But let me tell you one thing, I'm not designing a syllabus. I'm designing curriculum. Now, what is the difference between syllabus and curriculum? Curriculum takes care of other things also. Next slide, please. Curriculum takes care of other things also, like delivery, assessment, or certification. So I cannot simply design the content. I can design the objectives, design the outcomes, design the structure, design the content, and say, okay, I've done it. No, I must also design what delivery methods I'll be using, how I'll be assessing the outcomes, and what kind of certification will be there, who will be doing the certification. All that is part of the curriculum. So next part will be modes of delivery. Delivery will be done offline or online, or it will be in blended mode, or it will be a hands-on practice, like hands-on workshops, or it will be industry session, or it could be in a lab, all right, practically doing it in a lab, or on a computer using some tools or software. So all that I have to say what will be the modes of delivery. Then next thing I have to come to teaching approaches. What kind of approach will be there, which will be adopted by the teacher in order to teach that particular course? Will he be taking care of, teaching through having case studies? Or will he be using simulations? Or will he be teaching through giving projects to the students? Or he'll be going through peer learning? These are only 4 or 5 that I mentioned here. There could be many more. So I have to design the pedagogy, or what basically will be the way, the things that the teacher will encourage, the approaches he will use for effective teaching. Next is assessment methods. So I have to say what will be how will I be assessing? The practical demonstrations, or mini projects, or designing portfolios, or it will be industry who will be evaluating, or I'll be taking up quizzes, or whatever. And then who will be certifying? Will he be certified by industry, or will the student be having a joint certification of industry and academy? Or the digital credentials? So I'll have to find out, I'll have to speak about the certification. And then last but not the least, quality assurance. I will also have to speak about the feedback form, the completion criteria, and let's say continuous improvement. Next slide, please. Next slide. This slide talks about industry and external collaboration. Now I have to collaborate, but why? Why should I collaborate? See, we are actually improving the employability of the student. And if we collaborate, it's definitely, if we collaborate with industry or external environment, it is a student whose employability is going to increase. He will get a real world exposure. His employability or credibility will be more if he has industry certification. and naturally his outcome will be more. And what are the collaboration models? I can have guest lectures from industry people, experts, or I can have the courses co-designed with the industry person. That means industry people could be part of the design team, course design team, or the courses could be internship linked, or I could have a certification participation. If the certification is given by industry as well as the institute, that is another kind of a collaboration. So I can start with a small kind of approach, or I can have my alumni whom I can say I can request and have such kind of collaboration, or I can formalize the memorandums, MOUs I can sign with different industries with respect to having such collaborative value-added courses. Next slide. The last slide of this workshop, accreditation, linkage, and closure. See, value-added courses, when they improve the employability of the student, they carry a lot of value in accreditation. They increase the outcome of the student. That is why they carry a lot of value in OBE system. So accreditation alignment, I'll have to have courses that contribute to NAC or accreditation agencies best practices. Or student progression, they talk about student progression also carries a lot of points. Or employability indicators, that is maybe startups or joining some good industries. Then these carry a lot of value, 𝗖𝗂𝗶𝗄𝗏 documentation. So institutions that continuously upskill students through these value-added courses, they remain relevant, respected, and received. So I'll ask the participants, they can identify course, discuss with departments, 𝗖𝗂𝗶𝗄𝗏, and design it and do a kind of a pilot project the next semester. Now this completes the first session. In this session, we have discussed about what are value-added courses, how we decide what course to actually offer to the students, how to design that particular course and its assessment of outcomes, and how it is going to help us. Now, it is my request to all the participants, we will be doing an exercise that is offered. Normally, we are going to offer it to the participants seeking professional certification. Today, it's for everybody, because I would like others also to get to know what this is all about. Feedback form, it is, Bhanuji, please.
Just give me 2 minutes, I will be sharing the link.
Yes, thank you. So it is my request now that all the participants, please open up your laptops, Word file, a document. Give the name as a practical exercise. live practical exercise, which you have to submit to me on WhatsApp or on email. Please note down, I think all of you must be having my WhatsApp number, 628-K1-888-941. I'm writing it in the chat box also. 628-31-88-941. So please share the exercise, whatever you, when you complete the exercise, please share it on this number. Today, I'm not giving you any document. I'm asking you to open a Word document on your own. But in times to come, where this exercise will be offered only to those participants who go for professional track, we will have one Google document shared with each participant online. And that document which is shared online, but natural, will be visible to me as well. So I'll be doing the monitoring of that. Whatever the participant is doing will be visible to me, and I shall be monitoring his progress and guiding him online in this particular live practical exercise session. So this live practical exercise session is basically live monitoring and live guidance and asking you to do a particular exercise online. Today's exercise, we will not take up the exercise on value-added course, but an allied kind of a part of that, which is curriculum value integration and innovation mapping. We'll be introducing an innovation in our teaching. So let's go. Next slide, please. So participants will be able to practically integrate values. When I say values, which kind of values? Ethics, sustainability, social responsibility, employability. These kind of values into an existing course. So they will be able to integrate these things in the existing course and demonstrate pedagogical innovation in the methods of teaching and demonstrate in a way, in a manner suitable for accreditation as accreditation evidence and academic documentation. So this is very much required in by any accreditation agency. So next slide. Now we'll start the exercise. Those who have the laptop, please have one. I'm talking again. Please have one document, Word document. Open one empty Word document in your laptop. Those are using their mobiles, do it with a pencil and paper. Designing value-added courses, we have already seen it. First is selecting course, then identify values to be integrated. The values that we're going to integrate, then we are going to design innovative pedagogical intervention. We'll study what it is basically. Complete the innovation mapping template, because the template is going to tell us whether we have been able to do it nicely or not. And then showcase and find how much we have progressed by peer review. Next slide.
Dr. Rekha want to say something.
Yes, if anybody wants to say something, please raise your hand. Or you can put the question in the chat box. All right, next slide. Select a course. Now, I would request all the participants to select the course that they are actually teaching. If they're teaching more than one course, they can select any one of them. And if they're not teaching any course, they can select any course that they would want to teach. I request the participants to mention the course that they are selecting in the chat box. What course you have selected?
I just request all the participants, please. We have opened the microphone, so you can ask the question by putting on your mic.
Rekha Singh ji, you wanted to ask something? Dr. Rekha Singh? म्यूट हैं। भानु जी सभी म्यूट हैं।
I have opened the discussion for all, and the mic is allowed to all the participants. They can speak. They can switch on the mic.
Please unmute yourself and speak if you want to. And Dr. 𝗘𝗵𝗂𝗂𝗀𝗃𝗓𝗏. Hello. Okay, Dr. Sheila has said plant biotechnology.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, madam.
I have chosen a course on plant biotechnology.
Okay. Somebody else? Anybody else? Please mention the course that you are going to design. Select a course that you're going to design. Dr. C. Suresh. Dr. Suresh. All right, I think everybody must have selected the course that they would go to design. Let's go to the next step. Step number 2, Identify values to be integrated. So, good evening, Sureshi. Please, mic is not working, but you can write in the chat box. सुरेशी चैट बॉक्स में लिख दीजिएगा अपने whatever document word you're using. If you're using Word, you can write down in the Word document also. Yeah, power electronics, very good. I'm also from electronics. Basic, I've done my BTech electronics and I'm Tech and PhD in computer science. So step number 2, from the list, we have given 5 innovations that we would like. Select one, identify values that you would like to integrate. Somthara ji, mic is not working. All right, no problem. You can mention in the chat box if you have any problem. So from the list, select any two. List says ethics and integrity. That's the first one. What we are going to integrate in our curriculum, in our course. What values we are going to integrate. So ethics and integrity is one. Sustainability / SDGs. That's another. Hello, Totara ji. Hello, how are you? SDGs. I know. I expect everybody will know what is SDGs. This is nothing but sustainable development goals, ethics and integrity. Very good. Sustainability and SDGs. SDG means sustainable development goals. Third one is social responsibility or community engagement. That is, if you want to integrate social responsibility, very nice. Slothara says ethics and integrity, which is very good. Social responsibility and community engagement. Fourth one is employability / professional skills. If you would like to integrate employability and professional skills. And last is inclusion and equity. Inclusion means taking every diverse people in your curriculum. For example, maybe some fast and slow learners, or maybe, like for example, people from Punjab are more okay with Punjabi language. They are not knowing English so nicely, so they're not able to learn as fast as people who know English, or they're not able to express themselves well. The communication is poor. So we would like to include all diverse sections of students, maybe regional diversity, maybe language diversity, maybe some other kind of diversity. So inclusion means including all. Okay. So he selected employability and inclusion. Very good. So please select 2 of these values that you would like to integrate in your course. I hope everybody has done so. Should I go ahead? Please let me know if I can go ahead. Thank you. Next slide, please. Now you have to design an innovative pedagogical intervention. Now, what is this innovative pedagogical intervention? So an innovative pedagogical intervention is a planned, I'm speaking very slowly so that we are able to grasp what is being talked about. Planned intentional change. Intentional, that means I'm doing it purposely. Intentional change in teaching learning practice. So I am introducing a planned intentional change in teaching learning practice. Why I'm doing it? Designed to improve student engagement. I'm doing it so that I can improve the student engagement, learning outcomes, so that I can improve the learning outcomes, so that I can improve the skill development, or I am able to improve the value integration. It's a very, very important topic in accreditation. Value integration. Beyond why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, I'm going beyond traditional lecture-based methods. I am doing a planned intentional change in my teaching learning practice, in my teaching methodology or pedagogy or way, the way I teach, or the way normally things are taught. Normally how they taught, the traditional lecture-based methods. Instead of going through lecture-based model, I'm trying to improve by introducing some change, intentional change. I'm trying to improve the student engagement, his learning outcome, skill development, or value integration. Yeah, learn by doing could be one. So how I teach it differently and more effectively. That is what is innovative pedagogical intervention. Next slide, please. The pedagogical intervention, a purpose-driven, it's purpose-driven. That means I have a particular purpose of introducing why I'm doing it. Addresses a learning gap or an objective. Uses student-centric approaches. So I know my students, what they need. Based on that, I'm doing it. So it is student-centric, based upon students' need. It integrates real-world context, technology, or values. You need to understand it because you're going to do it in the exercise. So it integrates real-world context. That means I have to talk about the real-world context, not imaginary kind of thing, something which is existing in the real world. Or the technology. There are lots of technologies which are coming up in the market today, like AI is there coming up, machine learning. Everybody talks about machine learning or blockchain, all right? Or people are talking of cryptography or values. Then it's very important, is measurable. I cannot introduce anything that's not measurable. I should be able to measure it through outcomes and assessment. So through the outcomes and assessments, I should be able to measure it. And very important from accreditation point of view, I should be able to document it, because when I go for accreditation of my institution, the agency will always demand proof of what I've done. If I say I have introduced a pedagogical intervention, they won't believe it until unless I have a proof. So I have to introduce it. It should be documentable and showcased for quality and accreditation. So it has to be purpose driven. It should address some purpose. It should be student centric based upon what the student concerned ours. What do they need? What is their requirement? It should integrate real world context or technology or values. Should be measurable through outcomes and assessments and documentable. Next slide, please.
Someone has a question.
Yes.
Mr.
Hi, 𝗤𝗺𝗂𝗃. Dr. 𝗤𝗺𝗃, I think you want to ask something, yes? Please do. 𝗤𝗺𝗃, put a question in the chat box if you have to. Actually, today I've not shared a document with you, and that's the reason I'm not able to monitor what you are doing. Otherwise, I would have been able to see on my own laptop what each participant is doing. So what I did in the last slide, I can give examples. I can have the purpose could be project-based learning. I can introduce project-based learning. The students solve real life or industry problems, or a case-based learning where they could analysis of real or simulated cases. Then I could go for experiential learning, where I can design them field work or internships or community engagement. They could engage some community, or flipped classrooms where they could learn on their own first and then come to the class and let us know what they've learned. Then is problem-based learning, which is inquiry-driven learning around complex problems. I could give a problem to the students and they could learn by solving those problems. And digital AI-assisted learning, so use tools for analysis and creativity. And last is simulation and role play. So these are the common pedagogies interventions that I could introduce. I hope everybody has understood what kind of innovations or what kind of pedagogical interventions could be taken up, which are other than normal lecture-based teaching. Next slide. Now, how it differs from routine teaching? Routine teaching is basically lecture-centric. When I'm giving a lecture, I know what are the contents that I'm going to deliver, and I write down some points on the blackboard, and I talk about each point to the students, and when I finish, the lecture is over. But innovative, when I say innovative pedagogical intervention, that becomes student-centric. I do not, it's not dependent upon what lecture I'm going to deliver. It depends upon what is the need of the student, what the student desires to know. Traditional is basically content delivery. That means whatever the content is there, I delivered it and that's all. While in innovative pedagogical intervention, it's application and problem solving. In traditional, it could be exam focused. Now, what kind of questions can be asked? questions are expected. But in innovative pedagogical, it is outcome and competency focused. I have to think about what is the outcome of my lecture. The outcome is to be achieved. That means what I want the student to learn out of the lecture, whatever I want him to know, that outcome is achieved. He becomes competent to do that particular job, require that particular skill. And in lecture based is limited engagement, while when I go for innovative pedagogical intervention, it is active participation of the student. So innovative pedagogical intervention refers to structured and purposeful teaching learning strategy, structured and purposeful, which departs from conventional methods of lecturing, enhancing learner engagement or skill acquisition to value integration and measurable learning outcome. So I will integrate that in my course. Now whatever exercise that you're doing and whatever things you have decided to integrate, you shall be integrating that in the course that you have selected. And next slide, please. Now, please note down this template. Please note down this template and complete it. First is course title. So you have to note down in the table, you have to make a table. And in the table, one column is component, and the next column is to be entered by you. So first row, course title. In the input that is to be entered by you is the title of the course that you selected. Please do it. You see, we expect you to introduce the values, pedagogical value, innovation value. So you have to decide the unit, the topic that you have chosen. Next, second point is unit or topic that you have chosen. Please write down the topic that you have chosen in which you shall be integrating the pedagogical innovation. So please write down the unit or the topic in which you shall be introducing pedagogical innovation. The third row corresponds to values integrated. Now, in this particular topic that you have chosen, which value you have integrated or proposed to integrate? If you remember, the values that you are going to integrate, You had one of two, three of you had mentioned, two, three participants had mentioned that in the chat box also. You had selected two values out of the 5, 6 that we were offered to you. So the two values which you have selected, out of them, one you must be integrating in this particular topic, or both you can write down. Both the values that you selected, please write down the values that you are integrating. Now, for integrating those values, the next row talks about innovative pedagogy used. What innovative pedagogy you are going to use, or you propose to be used for integrating those values in the topic that you have chosen. So what innovative pedagogies you have used for integrating the values that you have chosen, two values you have chosen in the topic that you have mentioned here. I hope you have done it till now. सुरेश जी, इतना कर लिया? The next thing that we have to write down, the next row corresponds to learning activity designed. Now you have to design a learning activity for achieving what you are writing in the first 4 rows. Now what do you want to achieve? You are going to use a particular innovative pedagogy for integrating the two values in the course that you mentioned in the first row and in the topic that you have chosen in the second row. So please write down the learning activity that you designed. Please write down, it will take a few lines, not just one line. No more than one line, because learning activity, you just don't write down its title, but write down 2-3 lines of what learning activity, how you're going to do it. So learning activity that you've designed to integrate values by using an innovative pedagogy which you have used, which we have mentioned. We'll be writing the pedagogy that you're using for integrating which values, the values you have written in the course, whose title, and in the topic that you've chosen. I'm not using the Google Docs, otherwise I shall be able to monitor whatever you are writing and comment on everybody's document by writing my comments in the document itself, because document is going to be shared. The document is shared. I can always write my comments also in whatever you are doing. So learning activity, I have to design a learning activity. And in that learning activity, please make sure that that learning activity makes use of the innovative pedagogy that you are using for integrating the values, that you had selected, the two values which you had selected in the subject, in the course, and the topic that you've chosen in the course. Now, it's but natural that whatever you have, whatever values you are integrating, whatever innovative pedagogy you are using, and whatever values you're integrating, they have to be measurable. So, next row has to be, yes, 𝗂𝗵𝗂𝗂𝗧, you want to ask something? Please do.
Yes, sir.
Please do.
Sir, thank you for this informative talk. Sir, I have a doubt regarding the steps. In innovative pedagogy, you have mentioned about case-based. That's what we do when we plan the value-added courses. Like, for example, case-based or the project-based learning. So I feel, I mean, in my understanding, they themselves represents the learning activity. Like case-based line, like we gave different case scenarios for the, we divide them into groups and give different case scenarios to understand the real world context. So that's a kind of learning activity. So my doubt is, in what way the innovative pedagogy and learning activities are different? Can you give examples, sir?
See, you say in what way? In what
Yes,
way?
you have listed, no, sir, you have listed the flipped classroom or the case-based. All I could see it as a learning activities, which are innovative learning activities, which are completely different from the traditional lectures. But when you assign them as a two different title, as a innovative pedagogy and learning activity, so I don't see it as a two different component. How can I assign, or what do you expect me to write in learning activity designed?
I am understanding what you're saying.
Yeah.
Basically, see what you are. Basically, you must be from management.
Pardon, sir?
Are you from management discipline?
Management?
No.
No,
Anyway,
no, sir.
see, values integration. When we talk of values integration, we had listed 5 of them. One was ethics integrity. Second was sustainability.
Okay, sir.
Third was social responsibility or community engagement.
Okay, sir.
Fourth was employability and professional skills. Fifth one was inclusion. Now we have to decide which one we want to integrate. All right, that is clear now. That's nothing to do with the pedagogy intervention that we're talking of. Next was innovative pedagogical intervention. Pedagogical intervention that we are talking about, that is project-based learning or case-based learning or experiential learning or flipped classroom or problem-based learning, digital AI assisted learning or simulation role play. All these are pedagogical interventions. All right, because they are not lecture-based. Now, if you're using case studies, you're giving case studies for teaching a particular course, that means you're already using pedagogical intervention.
Yes, sir.
But that pedagogical intervention has to be with an intention of integrating two of these 5 values. One value was ethics and integrity. Second was sustainability in SDGs. Third was social responsibility or community engagement. Fourth was employability or professional skills. And last was inclusion and equity. Now, basically, case study, which you normally were using, or we are case study जो हम normally use कर रहे हैं in order to teach that particular course, may not be actually integrating any of these values.
Yes, sir, I understand. Yeah, up to By innovative pedagogy, I understand that we have to assign or design the course so that it meets the purpose. But my doubt is, what do you expect me to write in learning act? Say, for example, I have chosen case-based studies, and the
Huh.
unit is about prescription of antibiotics, judicious use of antibiotics. The values
Hmm.
are sustainability and
Hmm.
employability. Okay. So what kind of learning activity you want me to write? You want me to write that assignment? No, sir. So I am stuck there because the case-based
Ah.
scenario, learning is the learning activity.
Hmm.
It is to enhance the learning experience.
Hmm.
The innovative pedagogy itself, the learning activity. But you have shown me, I mean, you have given me another category as learning activity. So
No.
what I'm supposed to write in that if I choose case-based learning?
Innovative pedagogy, you've chosen case-based study.
Yes, sir.
All right. So
Yes.
case-based study is the pedagogy, innovative pedagogy, which you're going to use.
Yes.
You must have chosen two values also, which you want to
Yes.
integrate. All
Yes.
right. That much is okay.
That much is okay,
Now
sir.
coming
Learning.
to learning activity.
Yes.
Coming to learning activity. I have to design that case study in such a way. My case study should be such
Okay.
manner that
Okay, sir. I
whatever
got it.
case study, pardon?
Yes, sir. I understood, sir. Yes, sir.
Whatever case study I'm actually trying to design actually
So,
integrates those values.
okay. Okay, sir. I
So
understood.
I must mention the learning activity that I'm designing,
Yes, sir.
all right, which
Yes.
is
So,
using case studies to integrate those values.
okay. Got it,
I
sir.
think now it is clear.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So learning activity designed, it means I'm trying to learning activity design, it means I'm trying to use my innovative pedagogy for integrating the two values which I had selected in the topics chosen from the course which I am teaching. Now I think it is clear.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for giving me a little bit of encouragement that I've been able to explain you well. Next is expected learning outcomes. See, we had made it very clear that whatever things we are teaching, they have to have proper learning outcomes, and we must know what learning outcomes will they be. So please write down at least one, two, let us say, at least two learning outcomes which will come out from the learning activity designed by you, which makes use of that pedagogy to integrate the values in the topic chosen. I'll be very happy if the assignment is this exercise is completed and sent to me on WhatsApp or on email. My email address is very simple. ASHO. I'm writing that email address in the chat box. ASHO@UlyanaEducation.com. ASHO, it's double K. Please make sure you don't write single K, it will go to somebody else. Double K, GOEL, and numeric 1 @UlyanaEducation.com. So I expect that all participants will complete this exercise. So after that, we must mention the learning outcomes and assessment method. I must write down what will be the assessment method to assess the outcome. I have to make an assessment of the outcome. And then evidence for accreditation. I have to document it. So I hope the things are very clear. So everybody has noted down the course title, of course, long back, and the topic that were chosen, and then values which were to be integrated, the innovative pedagogy which you're going to use for integrating the values, learning activity. I hope everybody has designed the learning activity which makes use of the pedagogy which you mentioned, for integrating the values, two of them, in the topic that you've chosen from the course that you're teaching. After having designed the learning activity, everybody must write down at least 2 learning outcomes. Assessment method, and complete the document as an evidence for accreditation. And Madam Kumarji, should I go ahead? Hello? Should I go ahead? Okay, Sureshji says yes. Next slide, please. Step 5, showcase and peer review. So here, all participants to describe one key innovation introduced by you in 50 words. 50 words makes approximately 5 lines. So whatever key innovation you've used here, write down, describe that in 50 words. After writing the 5 lines, you also have to write 5 questions to collect peer feedback on clarity, visibility, impact of whatever you have done in the exercise. I shall be thankful if I get the document from you so that the peer feedback can be given by me. As answer to your 5 questions. So first is describe one key innovation introduced by you in 50 words. And next is write 5 questions to collect peer feedback on clarity, feasibility, and impact. Next slide, please. So each participant is expected to generate one value integrated curriculum activity, one innovative pedagogy example, and ready-to-use documentation for AQR, SSR, and BOS records. Next slide. With this, we end the exercise here. I hope the exercise was very well understood. Sheila ji, Sheila Muthukrishnan. I hope it is understood well, and I shall receive the document designed by you. With these words, thank you. I'll say thank you. And one other exercise for designing a value-added course shall be sent to you on your email. Or to Bhanu Goyalji.
I request all the participants, if you have still questions, you can ask right now. Okay. Special thank you once again, Dr. Ashok Goyal sir, for not only explaining the framework, but also guiding a step-by-step to practical, right from selecting a course, identifying values to integrate, choosing an innovative pedagogical intervention, and completing the innovation mapping template along with peer review prompts. Dear educators, well done for actively working during exercise. The real value of today's session is that you're not living with only ideas, you are living with draft work that can be implemented and documented. As per today's practical deliveries, each educator now has one value integrated curriculum activity, one innovative pedagogy example, and ready to use documentation that can be showcased for AQAR, SSR, BOS records. My humble request, please don't keep this as a draft only. Take the template forward, refine it, pilot it with your students, and maintain evidence through attendance, photographs, student work, rubrics assessment, and feedback as your own innovation becomes visible and credible. On behalf of Ulyana Education, I sincerely thank all the educators for your time, discipline, and learning spirit. We look forward to stay connected and supporting you in your academic equality initiatives. With this, we finally conclude today's workshop and practical session. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.